Okay, so I got almost all the way through watching that, and I'm feeling compelled to speak about what I wasn't able to get out in that because I am hyper excited to be talking about this topic. Accountability and personal responsibility is one of my most fave things, and I gotta go to yoga soon, and I gotta bring the birds in still, so I'm gonna try to keep this under 10 minutes. So I wrote down personal responsibility. What is it exactly that we are personally responsible for? What is our personal responsibility? I wrote down my goals, my attitude, my behaviors, my speech. And of course, there's 1,000 other things. Sure. Your health. Yes. But I want you guys to consider that. If you're watching this, what do you believe is your personal responsibility? Because when we are lacking personal responsibility, I wrote this down, when we lack personal responsibility, we blame external things for standing in our way. We develop more excuses than convictions. When we lack personal responsibility, we blame external things. If I am not taking into consideration that it is my responsibility to speak in a way that people will hear me and not just feel me, then I need to do what I need to do to make sure and take the time to consider what it is that I'm going to say and how I'm going to say it and the tone that I'm going to use, and to be mindful not to expect other people to transform around me so that I don't have to change because, I'm being vulnerable enough by speaking up. But that's the word that's coming to my brain is cowardly. When we are personally responsible for, what we say to people, how we say it, and for meeting our own goals. So if you have a goal for yourself to, develop a new healthy behavior or speak differently to people, even yourself included, because how we speak to ourselves is how we speak to others. We need to make sure that we're spending enough time with that within ourselves, and we're not just saying this in our head, making this decision, and then just kind of like going about life as if that's going to magically transform and happen in our lives. We have a personal responsibility to stay on track with ourselves, to take a personal inventory multiple times a day if you have to. The mood that you wake up in the morning is not necessarily the mood that you're in 2 hours later or 5 hours later or by the end of the day. We have a personal responsibility to check in with what the hell is going on within ourselves. And when we're doing that, we're able to regain or gain or maintain control of our own behaviors throughout, that process. If we're not taking into consideration everything that's going on within ourselves, we'll be flying off the handle 1 minute and then apologizing the next. We do a lot of things that we don't intend to do. We end up in places we never intended to be. And so, a lot of that is, from my understanding, a lack of accountability from within ourselves. And I think personal responsibility and accountability go, hand in hand. They're kind of like lovers and best friends. They're married to each other, in my opinion. And when we are making a decision for ourselves or choosing to learn something new, it is our responsibility to determine or to consider what we might be going through while that process is happening. We're going to get frustrated. We're going to feel maybe a little bit stupid sometimes. We might feel confused. We might feel defeated because, well, it didn't turn out this way the first time I tried it. So are you going to then give up on yourself, or are you going to ask yourself, take responsibility for your own process and ask yourself, what am I going to do differently the next time I do this so that I don't end up in the same spot? Personal responsibility. You are the keeper of your own thoughts. So be responsible with them. If you want your kids or someone else to behave in a certain way, we're pretty vigilant, when we're watching them and we're judging their every move and making sure that we're, they're getting shit done and they're walking the path that we want them to walk. Same thing goes for yourself. You can't just live all willy-nilly in your brain and just expect yourself to land in the position that you want to be in or that you intend to be in. When we're leading ourselves blindly through life, through through achieving goals, through learning behaviors, when we're doing that blindly, we're just hoping for the best and possibly preparing for the worst. I think that is probably the most detrimental oxymoron that I can think of at this moment. Hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. I'm not gonna get sidetracked into that. I'll do another video on that. But if we're just leading ourselves blindly through our own lives, we also assume that people are doing the same thing in their lives as well. That's called projection. My experience is what I also believe your experience is. So if I'm lying to myself, I definitely believe you're lying to me as well. If I'm not being dead serious with my goals and my determination to transform or to progress or to learn something new, then I don't believe that you're also giving it your full effort and your whole heart. And so that is, I don't even know the word for that right now, but that causes us to deny other people's realities because we are in denial of our own reality. When we're not getting real with how we're actually walking ourselves through our own lives, we're busy looking at other people and external things. And so when we're doing that, like I wrote here, when we lack that personal responsibility, we blame our own lack of progress on someone else or something else. Well, if she didn't do that, then I wouldn't have ever had to do this. And if that person wasn't in my way, then I would be able to be over here already. And if this shit didn't happen to me, then, I'd be over there by now. All those things that are standing in your way or that are challenging you are there for you. They are there to tell you that you could afford to be more personally responsible with where you want to go or where you want to be going or what you want to be learning. And it is challenging you to take a deeper look at what you're saying and what you're doing. Because it's literally like, I'm thinking autopilot when we drive. We don't have to be paying attention 24/7 when we're driving. We kind of, know, like you end up at your house and you're kind of like, well, how the hell did I even get here? Like, where was my mind just at? That is it. When we are lacking personal responsibility, we're kind of just blindly leading ourselves through life. And when something comes up that trips us up or stands in our way or knocks us down or pushes us aside, we start to blame that thing and we start to focus on that thing and we start to dive into deciding what that thing did to not allow us to remain on course. I would challenge you to understand that it was your lack of commitment to your intentions that allowed you to be steered off course. It's not anybody else's fault that you're not where you want to be. And I know that there's all kinds of arguments to be said about that. And I'm not saying, again, that's a super black and white blanket statement, because there is ifs, ands, or buts about that. But for the most part, if we believe that everything is happening for us, we will be able to see these hurdles and these roadblocks as opportunities for growth, as in another door, that we never saw before, as another path to take, but still leading us towards where we intend to be going or where we want to be going. Because when we think that, we make a goal in our mind, or we have a destination in mind, and we're just gonna, ho hum, walk the sidewalk and everything's gonna be great because I'm on my way, we are in denial about the process of that walk. We're probably just fantastically thinking, oh, well, I've decided to be on my way, so the universe is going to expand and the seas are going to part and everything's going to be rainbows and butterflies because I'm finally doing what I want to be doing, what I say I'm going to be doing. And that's exactly why that shit's so hard, because we cannot foresee everything that's going to challenge us or stand in our way. And so once those things do, if we're not really looking at the idea that everything is here to help us learn, and it's here for us, for our growth purposes, we're going to get lost in anger and get lost in our excuses. And like I said earlier, I wrote it down. When we are standing in our way, we are making more excuses than convictions. If you are a yeah butter, yeah but, and yeah but over here, and yeah but, take a look at where your convictions are lacking. If you're just kind of idealistically, fantastically thinking about things, but not really grounding yourself in the understanding of what it might look like when you're on your way, or how you're going to be handling the things that will be in your way, because there will be things in your way. There's always things in the way. There's always another thing, right? We say, once I get over this thing, then I'll be on my way. Or once I get past this, then I'll be on my way. There's always going to be something in the way. So take a look at those things that are frustrating you and ask yourself, what is your personal responsibility to yourself to allow this thing to encourage you to expand your perception, grow around or with it, and continue on your path? Don't allow this thing to knock you off your path and tell you that where you are heading, isn't for you, because if it was, then this never would be in your way. All right, 12 minutes. I'm going to stop this shit. Thanks for listening.